A word for Arsenal.
Yeah, it did
Did
really
anybody
work
see
for
that
Arsenal.
game?
Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone is well. Come and say hello on the old chat things. I don't know what we have access to nowadays. I'm in the... Oh, my big Grimsby Town badge. Did you ever get to see the big Grimsby Town badge behind me?
Yeah.
Fell off the wall. It fell off the wall and it deflated Harry the Haddock. I think he's got a big old puncture now. I haven't looked into it. I haven't assessed the damage.
I bet
yet.
it doesn't look as bad as mine does. Mine's like
I don't like the new ones.
Mine's like Trigger's broom.
Look at mine.
It's
Yeah,
had
yours is the same
18
as
new
mine.
18 new handles.
I need to replace it, really. So I need to repair it even. But I don't know where the puncture actually is on it. So.
And you're only young, Sam. You won't know how to find a puncture, will you?
Yeah, you must know how to find a puncture. But is that you inflate it, fill the bath up, and you push it in, and you can see where the bubbles come out.
Yeah, but you'd get in it and be farting in the bath at the same time, and you'd end up gluing your arse or something.
It's just pure and utter slander. I will not stand for this on DN35. I want to enforce a complaint. Bruce?
Yeah, I'm Alex, who's in charge of HR?
I think it's meant to be me. Well, apparently, according to the people who call me, it's me.
I thought I was self-appointed. I said I would look after it. My tooth still hurts.
Jack. Good evening, Luke. Okay, thank you. Am I missing stuff?
No, last week I didn't come on because I was injured, wasn't I? I got a hurty tooth.
Well, I'm so sorry about that. Have you not got it fixed? I chipped my tooth this week as well, which is a bit annoying.
I reckon it's worse than child. You know how women rattle on about childbirth. I reckon hurty tooth.
Be careful.
No, listen. Hurty tooth is up there with man flu. It's right up there.
Is it?
Yes.
It's what about a friend of mine at work who has 1,000,001 stories. They were on their holiday to Corfu. They were going to Corfu, and their cousin who was with him, they go in a big family, started to feel really sick on the plane before it had taken off. So they had to go back. The flight crew wouldn't let him go on, and they had to go back to the gate to get him off. A delay of about 2 hours with the rest of them going, we're going to go on holiday. You can go to the hospital. He had kidney stones. There was an airport doctor, and they assessed that he had kidney stones. And apparently they're so big, they have to laser them from outside. Now that is childbirth-like pain.
Ouch.
Losing your holiday and then getting that. No one cares about your tooth.
Okay, sorry.
What is wrong with your tooth? It's just hurting.
It's getting better, though. I've been to my mum's for tea tonight.
Are you using the power of the pod to try and get yourself a dentistry appointment?
No, I've got a dentist. He's drilled it out twice. He put a filling in and then it fell out. And then he put another one in and he put another filling in and he trapped some bacteria between my gum and the tooth. And the bacteria was just attacking me. It was horrible. So he's drilled it out. He's drilled it out and killed the tooth now.
I don't really think I want to go to this dentist. I was going to ask you if you can get us on the list.
It's a miracle you found a dentist who will treat you these days. It's a complete. Well, I've not moved from mine at mum and dad's on the grounds that I'm fearful I'll never get an appointment elsewhere.
I messaged Keir Starmer, mate, and someone did it for me, Sam.
Yeah, he said as long as you get me a couple of tickets to the cup final, Bruce, I'll get you a dentist, no problem.
Yeah, no problem. Sorted.
Yeah, all there.
Yeah.
See, Sam, I can be differential.
This is political impartiality. This is just satire. Poke fun at everybody.
Like being at the BBC. God.
We are rather kind of running the clock down here a bit, aren't we? But this is.
Why are we? Corner. This is what we do. This is what we do early doors. Did you see Danny Rose take it in the corner yesterday?
You mean at the end when he ran 70 yards up the pitch, even though he was completely knackered, took it in the corner, made the mistake, gave it to Denver Hume, and the attack broke down. And they broke back on us. I thought it was brilliant from Rose.
Yeah, I was. Go on, sorry.
It's what spawned my message in the WhatsApp chat saying Danny Rose is just fantastic. That was what. If anybody was wondering what I was on about, that's what it was all about. Because he was absolutely out on his feet, could barely move because he run his heart out. And of course, we have no real alternative off the bench. And he did that.
Yeah, no, we won't talk any more about the game before we cut the crap. But so how's your weekend been, Alex? Anyway, after the hurricane or what you said, what tornado of all this?
Yeah, Aldershot had a tornado. We all survived it, so I survived a tornado and an earthquake now. So I'm doing all right. I'm pretty impervious.
So you've
it
got
was all right.
avalanche, landslide. What else is on your bucket list?
Aldershot does have a dry ski slope, so maybe we can sort of manifest some form of avalanche, and we can go from there. But
is there much cocaine in Aldershot?
I would imagine so. It's full of squaddies.
Cut.
Thank you, Jack.
Dear.
I am a hero. You're very appreciated. Yeah, no, it was all right. What did we do yesterday? Went to see Beetlejuice. That was all right.
I mean, you come into some money. You were at Fulham last week. Now you're going to watch Beetlejuice. Either that, or you're getting gifts in exchange for I don't know.
For pleasantries.
I won't say too much.
Bruce, is that your life that you're so hard up that the idea of going to the cinema is luxury?
I thought you meant you went into the West End. Sorry, I thought it was a theatre.
No, I just went to Farnham.
Oh, all right. You went to the View. Well, did you pay go on.
It's called The Real. It's a new one. Farnham's quite posh. It's like Louth if it had been thrown into Surrey.
Do you have to pay?
Where Johnny Wilkinson is from.
Do you have to pay for extra nice? Was it one of them ones with extra nice seats, or is it still like old school?
It's brand new, but it's just a tenner. And then you can pay 30 quid and you get a sofa, and then they bring food and drink to you inclusive.
Are they in the same room as you paupers? Is it like first class and second class?
I think they do that thing that you've started to see where in Vegas, where they've got that full 4D dome thing where you watch Man United games. I think you watch the cinema from those sofas with a film into that, I think. But I don't know.
So they don't have to catch COVID off you lot then?
I've got a cold. I've got man flu coming on.
Oh, we'll talk about that next week. That can be next week's. It was nice at the game yesterday, Sam. Wasn't it absolutely boiling?
Can you hear him?
Sam,
Bruce, did you get any of the did you get any articles in the program? They look quite nice.
It was balmy for the middle of September.
Bloody hell, hang on, that's a worse delay than normal.
We will go live to Australia. This is New Zealand.
I think he doesn't have them astronauts that's stuck on the space station.
I don't think he has a delay. I think he just does it to be rude.
That's preposterous. I'm not having any of that.
Is it like your nana where she answers a question that somebody asked about 5 minutes ago before the conversation moved on?
It's like that famous Ronnie Barker and Ronnie Corbett sketch where he's doing Mastermind and it's the question before, isn't it?
So how long is it before he says, "Evening, lads, nice to see you"?
Yeah, how are you doing? In that case, Dharma a prick. I'm just filling in for Sam now.
Oh dear, is it time for the credits?
Well, the end. Yeah. The end.
End game. We haven't even got to play your calendars right this week. That's not even next week.
But you said you were making a game to let people peek behind the curtain.
I don't want to say too much about it. I've shared it in the pod chat. But yeah. Oh well. Anyway, Top Town trumps. It's coming.
Mike is saying he can come on if Hannah's not.
No. We're fine as a three. He's desperate.
I did ask him if he wanted to come on, but he's eating his tea apparently.
I reckon he's driven up to Cage.
To be fair, Bruce, do you remember a couple of weeks ago, Bruce, when we did this and Alex proposed to have a week off and then 45 minutes into it, he got massive FOMO. So it was like, no, I've got to come back.
Well, that was the one that won us the nominated us for the twat. No, I'm not having this because that was the one that apparently nominated us for twat of the week because Bruce was in charge of it. And as you can see, people, such as Bruce's ego, he came on when I went off to sort stuff out and he's put his own picture back on the back. Look. Unbelievable.
Isn't it just like a desktop background? Doesn't it just keep cycling?
It rotates. Yeah.
I know nothing about that. I definitely haven't updated another audio.
Don't be saying
I have not.
Check him now.
I definitely haven't updated you a new audio clip.
Let's have a look. Oh, hang on.
Tries to get there. Sliced in the air by Racine. Arnold. Town want a free kick. They don't get it, but they've got the ball to Nolan. Nolan on the left-hand side. Does he go? He's going inside here to Huben, who hits it. Falls to Arnold. Arnold! That's it! That's it! He sealed it! Grimsby Town are back in the Football League. Just a minute to go, and Nathan.
And we never went back again.
What more would you like on a Sunday? You can come on every Sunday, and I'm just going to drop in there and drop you a little snippet that you can use on that evening's podcast.
Oh, thank you, mate. That's very kind of you.
You were on really early though. You just left your room. I mean, you left your room unattended. It's lucky that Mrs. Green was in the broom cupboard. Well, because I did pop in about 7:30 and there was no one there.
I don't know if I like you with this sort of power. Right. Do we do the credits? Let's finish. Nice to see you all. See you next week.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy. Hey, they got a penalty here. There'll be fish flying about there. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! A really, really good goal. You can't make the strength of that.
Two amazing things have happened this weekend. Not only has Sam's internet finally cut out, Mike's got around to cutting that off, but he was overawed by the size of 2-tier stands that were bigger than him, that went to the sky, intimidated with a leisure centre that were Bromley. The man who was rounded by Kevin Donovan, it took him about 3 weeks to do it, but he got round him, put it away. Not only did he get embarrassed on the national stage at the home of football, he came to the real home of football, and he got absolutely humiliated. Bromley played off the park from the 1st to the 90th minute. He was absolutely and completely and utterly undone. He was found very much wanting. He can kick up a stink as much as he wants. But Danny Rose, elegantly from the penalty spot, gave us 3 whole points against tiny little Bromley, who dared to enter the Football League. I don't really know where I'm going with this. Bruce, we won. All right.
All right.
I don't think I'll be a hype man. I don't think I'll make it as a hype man. We won.
I thought you did quite well. You got hyped.
I did get hyped. It's all gone now, though. It's all gone. Oh.
I'm quite happy, really. I was chatting to as I said earlier, I went to my mum's for tea and I was chatting to her husband. And if we win 23 games and we lose 23 games and we don't draw any, we haven't drawn yet, have we? Before I go down this rambling route, we've won 3 and lost 4, haven't we?
Yeah, no, it's really annoying Leanne because she's doing a what she would call a form scarf. So she's knitting something. So when Town win, it's a black line. When we lose, it's a white line, and when we draw, it's a red line. And she hasn't been able to use it yet.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll get 69 points. Can you get in the play? Can you get in the playoffs losing 23 games?
I think we'll have a go.
That'd be impressive. Oh, here he comes. Welcome back to the International Space Station.
You know, you thought by now you'd have gone, do you know what? My internet's a bit ropey. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy an ASDN line that will just connect to the home router and bring it in. You thought he'd do that by now?
Yeah, but I'll do that when I've got another job. But...
You're still getting paid now, aren't you? You're still a scrounger of the state.
I'm not scrounging. Enough of this.
Can I ask kissing? I think.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. What are you eating?
Nothing.
Clearly
Maisie
not
made
you.
me-
Bruce is on the thing as well.
Maisie made me a cookie.
Oh, what? Maisie, where's mine?
Mm.
This is a joke.
It's nice, actually. It did have some of that icing sugar stuff on it, but when we went out to my mum's for tea, I thought the flies might get it, so I threw a tea towel over it, but I didn't realise they were still warm. And all the icing sugar's melted, and they've all got little pools of like something on top of them that's my fault. I was only trying to be helpful.
Costco do a really nice mince pie, but they put so much icing sugar on it. It's like that thick. You get diabetes just from eating one. Oh, look at him with his little Santa. Sam's gone again. Look at drinking his milk as well. I'm not even that prepared. I didn't get any cookies.
What?
Can you believe 100 people
Sam lives
in the centre of London.
In England. Oh God!
He lives in Coventry. He lives in Coventry. Yeah.
He lives in London.
Yeah.
And he can't get a decent internet feed. Is that how it is down there?
We're scratching the surface, mate. It's terrible, you know. With all this knife crime, all these knives that are falling out of these young hoodlums' pockets, they're cutting internet lines left, right, and centre. It's terrible, awful, and they're going around changing people's passwords. I have no idea.
He'll be talking about that rural broadband scheme.
I think we need to put in a game where if you cut off more than 3 times, you're banned from the pod for the rest of the day. I think that should be a rule. So you have to really sort of try and make it, you know, work for you. Right. So people coming.
Sorry.
Ben says that can't be a real background. There's an actual train running. Great joke, Ben. Sam's gone. Sack Barrick says Mike, who is desperate to get back on. Mike, come back on. Get your camera working and come on. Evening, gents. Spotted you again in the bar yesterday, Bruce, says Ben. What was that, Ben? Was that during the game?
Not yesterday. Although apparently at 10 to 3.
There you go. Hang on. Let's get this. Let's get our epic stuff.
I'm here to save the day. I'm here.
Mike's here. Bruce,
hello.
What do you say about that?
Mike's like that sub that runs up and down in front of the manager, isn't he? I'm ready, boss. I'm ready. I'm here. I'm ready. I'll have a night off tonight, but I'm definitely not going out. I will be ready if you need me.
Who's the guy in Mike Bassett who's the one crying in the middle because he drops him because he got too drunk? No.
Have you seen the WhatsApp? There's more excuses in there than the average kid's letter to get out of PE at school. Oh. Yeah.
I'm not saying others are bad, but I'm here, ready. I was waiting. If you needed me, I'm here for you fellas.
The only reason your camera turns on because you're squeezing that trap shoot.
Sam says he's given up for the time being. What do you mean time being? Why is that a threat? I rebooted my router. He said he'll be back again.
Is that work? Is that work? Is that a work thing? A work reference? I've given.
Hello, Mike. Here's my breath of fresh air. What's it like running into your heroes? I heard it's genuinely a letdown, says Pinhead Luke. I assume talking to Ben about seeing Bruce in the bar.
Yeah, it was a letdown when I met Alex.
It's because you'd already met me before we went for a Chinese.
And I forgot I'd met you.
It doesn't take long to get me in the Chinese.
Just a word of warning, Mike. A sub can be substituted.
No, if you do that, you'd have to put your arm around me. You can't do that to somebody. You know, you'd have to get round him.
Luke says that the NTL boxes. Hang on, this is important. Luke says the NTL boxes from around his neighbourhood used to get nicked for the scrap. Is that happening at your end, Bruce?
Most definitely not. We don't have that sort of behaviour in Leafy Cleethorpes.
Leafy Cleethorpes. What do you do? Steal the leaves and bring them in?
No, they blow off the country park.
They're just blown in. We beat Mike. We beat Bromley. I'll be honest, it was a little bit of a letdown. I was expecting him to I thought Andy Woodman would kick off a little bit more. And though, you know, he was saying that their team were the better team, and I'm not really sure about that. He was all pretty jovial about it all. I was disappointed. He let me down. I was expecting needle.
It was a shock to see that he was mentally stable about it, to be honest. I was expecting a reaction. I mean, he did have a little bit of a little bit of craziness when he started saying that they were the only team that were offering anything going forward. You know, they were towards the end, but I'm not really sure that's applicable for all of the game.
It's well, considering the way that we do our own highlights and we take out the one chance we have apart from the penalty, I'm not surprised. I watched the extended highlights to get an idea again of what the game was like, and they completely left out that Svan Thorson chance when he had a chance to slot it in one-on-one with the keeper.
That's a big chance, that wasn't it? Big chance. Needed to slot that
apparently
in.
Not. The people in charge at GTFC HQ thought, nah, that don't go in the highlights. That's not a highlight. What is 25 seconds of head tennis is a real highlight. So
proper fucking football, that's what it is.
Yeah, get in the fucking mixer.
Alex, you've got to bear in mind they've got to send the highlights to Carlisle of what we did last week. So we're editing our own highlights deliberately.
Are you trying to tell us that clubs in League Two, their data and their research extends to 2.5 minutes of highlights off the EFL show?
I think
apparently we sent one the other week to Notts County, and it had half of Emmerdale on it.
Yeah,
it was from 2016.
We once actually sent an episode of Dream Team instead to see if it caught them off guard. They thought, well, it's not going to be a problem. Their left back is up for assault charges, and another person, the central midfielder, is possibly linked to a murder, so we'll be all right.
Sent them the video. They said, I'm sure actually Stanovic doesn't play football anymore.
David sent an episode of Renford Rejects. Yeah. Everything. It's really working for us. That's what we just find people to send out obscure football.
You lads are too young for Joss's Giants. That was quality.
I saw a film with
Brian, Josh is what?
Josh is a giant, he said.
Oh.
He did have an ooh at the start, Mike. He went, ooh, Josh is Giants.
Have we started yet?
Yeah, we started ages ago. I'm really low on energy today.
Bit, Mike. We cut out the crap and chatting shit, but this is the business end of the podcast.
Yeah, this is the stuff where we really get into the nitty gritty. I thought we played all right. First half, once again, all right. I thought game management wise, it was maybe a very Hurst-esque towards the end of it. I felt like we needed to bring on some people. Kieran Green's tackle for his red card was the thing that legends are made of. As he ran, the man turned him and he pulled his trousers down. That was wonderful. I can't really say anything other than, there are a lot of knackered players out there and we have 5 substitutes. So it would be quite a good idea if we use them, whether or not they're ideal for that position or not, because now we're going to have to play Ainley in that position, whether we wanted to either way. I thought we could have made it a little bit less frantic for ourselves at the end. Bromley will be a bit like us.
It's a funny one because I thought, I think I was saying to you that our legs had gone in like 70 minutes and it just got worse and worse. And we just looked like we were running through treacle. I wonder where the crossover is from a player that doesn't play in centre midfield to a player that at least can move and where you make that line. Because I think we did make subs a little bit late. And even if somebody like a Cass or an Ainley isn't a holding midfielder, well, at least they can get about a bit. It's options off the bench again, isn't it?
Cass is probably a little bit too old now, mate.
Not Marcel.
No?
Well, the monkey from Friends.
No, Marcel. He means Marcel Cass.
Marcel Cass was rapid, wasn't he? He might still be quite quick. He might still be quicker than some of our players, to be fair.
I will tell you what I thought about yesterday, though. I think, and we said this last week, that's a game that we wouldn't have won. And we found a way to win it. So despite how scrappy it was in the second half, we found a way to win it and found a way to hang on against a team that had a lot of physical players, and that's probably not our game. So we probably take more from that win than we would any other one, because we found a way to win it playing against a team that we have notoriously struggled against recently. I mean, I think back to the Fleetwood game, a team that plays a low block, we just couldn't get through them, and at least we did with Bromley. So I think it's quite positive, you know. And that's what, 3rd out of 4 home games in the league that's won. So now we're starting to make Bundle Park a bit of a place where we've got some good form there as well.
It looked busy.
But yet the crowds are dropping. The crowds are going down.
Do you reckon? I thought it was the fullest it's been there for a while, considering like Bromley brought 11 people. What was it, over 6,000?
6,000 home fans. The Osman was full. Well, it looked full.
It was 5. It was 5.5. It was 5.5, wasn't it?
No, over 6.
It was 6,100 the attendance, and they brought 100. So, and I'm not good at maths.
I thought somebody.
I'm going to mute them both because we need to thank them. We needed to thank the Bromley fans for coming because no one bothered to do it at the club, and I really think that's a poor thing for the club to not be thanking away fans for coming for that long. So I would just like to thank the Bromley fans for coming to Blundell Park and enjoying their day.
Now, fuck up.
Now I'll let you two talk. Bruce is angry now.
Wrong. I was completely wrong. It was 6,115. I was somewhere in my head. I got 5.5. So I hold my hands up. Just going back to what you were saying, Alex, a minute ago about the Green sending off. I thought it was quite funny. Did you see when he was on? You saw it on TV, but he was on his haunches for about 5.5 minutes, thinking, because he knew that if he got up, when the ref had got the card in his hand, and he's like, "When you get up, I'm going to give you your second yellow card." And so Green was just on the floor looking at him, and there was a bit of a standoff. It's like, am I going to get up first, or is he going to send me off first?
Do you think he's got? Do you think he's put himself in the Football League Fantasy League, and he thought, if I stay down for another minute, I get past 60 minutes, and then that means that I get 2 points for myself rather than just the one? I don't know.
Maybe he was thinking he could do it till the full-time whistle.
Yeah, that's true. It was an interesting one, that. Jack Coupland says 700 kids behind the goal. It was defoed down a bit, says Jack. Oh, it looked busy. Let's not be so down and out. It looked busy. Fan zone was busy, 1 in, 1 out. Christine told me the capacity is 350 on shitter. Ben says got very lucky at the end. They hit the bar. They did hit the bar. It didn't go in.
There was some fortune involved in that, though, I think, wasn't there?
Hey, it feels the hump. Might have been in. Added a bit of space, wouldn't it?
At this point, that's twice I've said just going. Anyway, 3 times now. They were. I thought they played. I've seen quite a lot of our games this season, and I thought that they played traditional up and at 'em football. There was nothing short from the back. There was no goal kick that went less than inside our half. All free kicks were just pumped towards the box. So they were, not an onslaught, but it was a physical sort of game. And as at the end of the day, a win's a win, and we're picking up victories, which when season, all right, Bromley's probably on paper the easiest fixture that we've had so far. But I thought that with our injuries, losing Davis was a real blow when he just done so well in his first couple of 2 goals in a home win, and then he gets injured in a game, which you can't blame any coaching or anything like that for, any training. And then we've had Thompson missing from the start. We've had a difficult run of fixtures, and we're sitting 12th. I don't have a problem with that at all. And if we can just keep on, the tough fixtures keep coming. On paper they keep coming, and if we can just be in a mid-table position by the time Thompson back, heading towards the late autumn, then I think we're doing fairly well, and I'm not dissatisfied with what I've seen so far.
Bruce with the positivity. Let's go to Sam, who now has a wider view of the main stand. And he still lets his auntie buy him lunch like a child. Let's see what he has to say from the behind. So this is from the guy who shouts bloody rubbish town behind the commentator, who was a new commentator today. Not sure. First game, so he did all right. Sam, what were your thoughts on the game while I go get a drink?
So I thought we're never going to be able to play pretty attractive tiki-taka football against Bromley. They're on average about 4 or 5 inches taller than us. I've reflected their manager. They're a load of big bullies, which happen to be footballers. And as a result, we were never going to be able to kind of play the way we did against Bradford. So bizarrely, I was actually more encouraged by winning a game like that yesterday, basically grinding out a 1-0 courtesy of a penalty, than I was by anything else I've seen, really, because it kind of proved we can do that. If needs be, in either certain set of circumstances, we can beat a side like this. I thought for the first half, particularly, we sort of controlled the game without really working the keeper. They were obviously very happy to let us have the ball between our centre halves and holding midfield and midfielders, as long as we weren't really going to hurt them. But what I would say is, I know we've won, but the sort of the fitness thing, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about, because I thought we would be fitter by now than we are. I mean, I know there's an issue in terms of, I'm not actually going to criticise ourselves for making substitutions too late, because the options on the bench are so thin in terms of what we can bring on, especially after Vernon goes off early doors. No, I didn't. That at least sounded pretty positive that wasn't a long-term thing. That we've got to, with giving the options off the bench and lack of them, we're kind of, this is what we've got. It looks, I mean, the equaliser felt inevitable. And on another day, that thing goes off the underside of the bar, it ends up in the net, or the rebound goes in, it's a 1-1, and we're talking about a kind of a pretty lacklustre performance, people would be saying. And we do need to start picking results away from home, because at some point, we're going to have a crap run at home, we're going to get into some poor form, and then that's going to kind of cause a real bad run if we're not careful. But Carlisle haven't started the season particularly well, I don't think. Maybe the sort of side, given the way we play, we could cause some real damage to, cause a bit of pressure, a good opportunity to get some points next week. Because I don't think we'll get very much from Gillingham. And then we never get anything from Doncaster the week after. So I think, a decent win, but it doesn't get any easier, does it?
Sam, I've just, it's been staring us in the face this time. What you can do if you don't succeed in staying in your current employment. You would be absolutely perfect late at night doing sign language on Coronation Street reruns. I've just noticed you just.
That's a cracking shout. Cracking shout. Well done, Bruce.
Everything
that
you
is
say,
an unbelievable shout.
This is going on. A guy on the blue background with the screen a little bit smaller than normal, doing the sign language. I think that would be you.
I was wondering there what you're going to say. There were so many things I thought. Is he going to say late night? Is he going to say I should be on a late night radio show? Is he saying I should be on a late night?
Nah, you're not good enough for that.
Your hands were just moving the whole time you were talking. Your hands were just all over like all over the place.
I agree, Simon. I don't really know what's going on with Bruce's audio. It keeps going in and out. Is your?
Well, I'm now paranoid it's me after the kind of shambles of my.
Are your headphones all right?
He's gone now as well. Even by our standards, this podcast has been shambolically produced.
I've literally been produced fine by my end. I'm doing all right.
It's not. Hey, don't start having a go at Alex because your internet's shit and his speakers are shit.
I
invested
invested in equipment
down to come and bail you out, Sam.
And my equipment's fine. It's my it's the internet.
No, what is it? Who's told you that?
I've turned the Wi-Fi off, so we're on 5G now. Is that any better?
It seems to be.
So far, so good.
Have you? I know because I was busy.
You just kept you kept dropping in and out. That was all, Bruce.
I was busy rebooting my router. It seems to have sourced at least. Have you laid into and given it large about Woodman yet, Alex, or have you saved in that bit?
No, I've already done it, but unfortunately, this place is really too unprofessional for me. It's about time BBC came a calling and took me under Anti's wing, a bit like Sam at a town game, and I was doing the job there where I could, just go, hello, I'm talking to Lee from Hull, who's disappointed he lives in Hull. Let's have your thoughts on living in Hull, Lee. Oh, I don't like it. It's really terrible. It's, full of hoodlums and barm cakes, whatever the fuck they are. I don't know what they are. And chip spice. I want spice on my tea. I don't like drugs. Why are you putting them on my tea? Just put salt and vinegar on them. And why do we try and make saying no sound really popular when it just sounds like car reversing? What are you saying, Sam? Trying to
And on top of
You're
it,
my
and on
skip.
top of it, the poor bloke, because he's retired, presumably won't be able to heat his home this winter. So on top of that, the guy you've just impersonated, the guy you've just invented.
Oh no, he's 37. He's finally. Don't worry about it.
Right, okay, cool.
He just can't. He just can't afford a house. He just can't afford a house after decades of inactivity from a corrupt government. A
very good point by Andrew Niles. He says about when Vernon went off. I think that's right. I think our change in how
I thought we'd gone down a political route, Mike, and I thought you were talking about the bloke.
I'm under a new leaf, mate. I'm just rescuing us from that.
You're under a leaf.
I'm turning over a new leaf.
Not under a leaf.
Turn the page on 4 years of misrule by Green. Odd.
But
sounds like our midfield.
One bugbear I've got is when Vernon came off, we lost something. That's true. Now Barrington is a young lad. He's very green, and he's not going to do things right. And there was a little bit of moaning every time he did something that was maybe the wrong decision. And just as somebody watching a young lad come in, and who, if Vernon's out for any length of time, we're going to need. I think we really do need to sort of get behind him, and if he picks the wrong pass, don't start all this moaning and groaning, because he's a young lad. It's his first professional sort of stint at a football club, out of youth team football or under 23s football, and we're going to need to encourage the lad. So hopefully, if he gets a bit of time now and a bit of backing, he can start to progress. But Vernon was a big miss. I think Vernon's looked really good so far this season. He's been at the centre of most of the good things we've done. So hopefully, he's not gone for too long, because that will be quite to add him along with Davis. That would be two real big players for us going forward that we'll be missing.
Sorry, Bruce.
I'd be interested to know where the mics are that you get on TV, because I wasn't on last week, but I listened to it when I was out running the other day, and you were talking again about somebody else that had been booed or complained about when they were doing stuff. And I'm in the lower, and I think that's as sort of probably as edgy as it gets in the ground. And I didn't hear people digging out Barrington at all. So whether it's the main stand, and Sam can maybe tell us more, but I didn't hear that where I was.
I did.
It was definitely audible.
Well, I don't know where the mic is. I don't know where the mic is, and maybe it's the dugout.
So we've got two. I think there's two mics. So I think there's one with the commentator. So that's either Sam, or there's one up in the top of the where the camera is, which I assume is just at the Findus, at the top of the Findus. So I assume it's
efficient information.
I can shed some light on that. I mean, there were definite growth towards Barrington yesterday, but equally, there were bones towards Barrington. But equally, and I've been generally quite critical of the fan base this year in terms of, especially last week, where they were kind of getting straight into him from the word go. What I really didn't like yesterday was, after Green stupidly got himself sent off for a second yellow that was always going to be a second yellow, the crowd start chanting "Green air, green air." Like, the bloke's just done something complete brain fade, could cost us the game, and you're there bloody applauding him. Get him off the pitch and and let us what's the word, reset up. Don't praise him for nearly costing us the game. That really wound me up, that did, yesterday.
I agree, Sam, completely. That chant. That chant is almost like a pantomime chant, isn't it?
I don't mind most of the time.
It's a pantomime chant, but why are they singing? Why are they? Yeah, I agree. Sometimes you see a player applauded off, don't you, when there's been a miscarriage of justice, and the fans are absolutely fuming at the referee. But like you say, there was nothing they could do yesterday. It was a yellow card. It was his second yellow card, and it was unnecessary. If he hadn't have been booked in the first place, you'd have said it was taking one for the team, wouldn't you? Because they were breaking through. But it was a risky game to take when you were on your second yellow, and like you say, that Greeny chant, it's almost. Is it almost taking the piss out of him? Is that because it's not?
I've got a theory.
People aren't seriously chanting that, are they? I don't know. Go on.
I've got a theory. So I think out of all the players we've got, minus maybe Danny Rose, I think Kieran Green is the player that probably puts the most in terms of effort, running, and physicality. I think he's a really good player for that. may have other issues going forward or with the ball, but I don't think you can ever question his commitment or ever question his effort. And I think that from a certain section of people, I think that's what it is. And I think you saw yesterday that he was out on his feet, he'd been running, they were clean through, and he took one for the team. So whether you agree with it or not, I can understand why some people would do that. You can question his ability, but you can never question his commitment. And I think for a lot of people, we've had a lot of years where we can question the commitment of players. So I think it's appreciated, and that's where I come from. I question his ability, but what I would say is over the last few games, actually, I've noticed that when he gets the ball and he runs at somebody, he's very, very hard to stop. Now, he might not know what he's going to do with the ball, but and they might not know. But if he gets the ball and gets his head down, the penalty is a good example. He's very difficult to stop, a very strong runner.
I know, I agree completely with the performances and stuff like that. I think what it is sometimes with the chance, sometimes it's when he's done something good, and sometimes it's when he's done something very, very raw. Like you say, rate has been excellent, and he's been one of the surprise packages for the season. But I think maybe there's an element of some are chanting for the reasons you say, and some are chanting as a bit of a pantomime maybe as well. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we won the game, but it does mean that we've got to make a change next week, doesn't it?
There's something else with it though as well. The fact is that it was a very tired tackle because he sort of fell into the guy. It's another indication of our lack of options. Green, all the way through his town career, has been like 70 minutes. That's his witching hour. He's run himself into the ground and he's done. No, there's no issue with that. That's just how it works. But because of the lack of options we've got, especially in that kind of sort of workhorse, sort of runner, hacker of midfield, if you like, there's nobody on the bench who can come and do that job. So you've asked him to stay out there and do something that he's perhaps for longer than he's capable of doing it. So again, I'm not really criticising Artell there for not making the change earlier. I'm just sort of pointing out the lack of options that we have off the bench.
Just on that, I don't think. Just on that specifically, is I don't think Green is the sort of player we needed to be looking at yesterday to bring off, because Green's playing as a 3, but he's the furthest one forward. You know, the problem we had is that they were clean through. So where's the 2 holding midfielders? We were losing the ball quite a lot in dangerous positions in their half where we've got men committed and we're so tired we can't all get back. Now, if we'd set up properly and maybe 2 of those holding midfielders hadn't gone bombing forward, Corey hadn't come out to the left with Hume and trying to work something on the side and not left the massive space, you don't need it. But I can understand why you'd want to keep Green on, A, for his physicality, but B, for his height. And when they're bringing on 6'5" giants, and we've got Rodgers and McJanet as the only players with any height in our team, I can understand why he sort of puts up with him not being able to run about for the height reason. So there shouldn't. I'd have to go back and watch, but I don't see how Green can be the person that's the last man from a midfielder breaking through our midfield. It has to be Corey and it has to be McEachran that's there.
Did you any thoughts on the goalkeeping issue? Obviously, that's been a hot topic for the last couple of weeks, given their fallibilities. Eastwood, obviously, in goal. Any thoughts on his involvement yesterday? Obviously, the first clean sheets we've kept in the league this season. Any thoughts? Sam's got one.
He wasn't really tested. He made a regulation save in the end of the first half. It sort of come at his near post. And then after that scramble in the box, he's just sort of, near the end, he's sort of thrown himself at the man and he's got the ball away. I was more uncertain about him last week when he kind of made a couple of, like, I think I might have said it last week on the pod, actually, Crocombe saves where he sort of pushed it straight back into the danger area rather than pushing it round the corner or catching it. I just think the keeper issue is just going to be something that's going to dog us all season because of the sort of advent of Guardiola ball and goalkeepers being footballers and midfielders and passers now. You're kind of compromising on their ability to actually keep goal, if you get me. So I honestly think that's just the nature of football now, frankly.
There's no way I'd have called it a Crocombe save. There's no way I'd have criticised Crocombe, just to clarify. So it's somebody else.
And I think it was what I said last week. No, not you, Mike, sorry.
I think I paid attention to McJanet for the first time yesterday, and I think he's a really, really good player. People have said he you know, most games people have said who was your best player? Oh, it was McEachran and it was McJanet, or it was so and so and McJanet. And I watched him yesterday when we were backs to the wall, and he comes for everything, and he'll run through a player to head the ball away. And Rodgers had a good game, to be fair. He was very similar. And I think now we've got a arm back, getting fit. I think we're all right. I think Rodgers is, you know, we Sam and I have spoken before about, you know, he was in our defence last season at the start when we thought that we looked good until Bradford. And I think there's a player in Rodgers, and I've got no qualms with him being either starting or coming off the bench. I think ultimately it might be Tharm and McJanet, and I think that'll be a pretty good centre back pairing at this level. He was really good, and he's good on the floor as well.
I'd agree that McJanet's looked really good, and I like looking at McEachran as well on the grounds that he's actually 2-footed, which is unusual for this level. He can receive the ball on one foot and play it on the other. But I kind of find it sort of laughable saying who was your best player today, this week, like last week, like against Bradford, I wasn't at Chesterfield. I thought Danny Rose was clearly our best player, just in terms of the way he can relieve pressure on the defence, the way he harries, the way he winds up the opposition, the way he provides a goal threat. I kind of run out of. I just think he's fantastic. I know you guys have all seen a better quality of striker than I have, but playing for Grimsby Town. But not Danny Rose is sort of next level almost to anything I've seen in terms of what he does. And I just wanted to get that one in there, really, just because I like talking about him now.
It's a shame we only play one up top, because I think Danny Rose would be really good next to a pacey front man. And I don't think that we've got. Last season we played one down the middle, didn't we? And we said so many times how the wingers were far too wide, and it was like playing one up front and five in midfield. Whereas, you know, this year we have, you know, it's Van Thorsen and Vernon, we have played them further forward, but I still don't think we've quite got them playing off Danny Rose, because his hold-up play, and I think Wilson's hold-up play when he's played has been good as well, and bringing others into play. We still need to work on that, but we're only 7 games in, and we're still, you know, last season Vernon barely seemed to be fully fit. Van Thorsen wasn't here. McEachran in centre midfield wasn't playing. You know, Corey's playing this season. He wasn't playing. You can go through the whole team, and we're a new team still. I think with the run of games that we had and the injuries that we've had, as I said at the start of the pod, I'm not dissatisfied with the way it's looking. You know, I know there's people out there that the minute, you know, we win one week, they say nothing, and then we lose the next week. And I've always said Artell was shit. It's the same as the people that used to do that with Hurst. You know, that people are so reactionary now. 1 minute, you know, we win one game, we're going up, we lose and we're going down. You know, and the manager's crap, and he's always been crap, despite the fact we've just won. We haven't recently, but we've just won 2 games on the spin, or 3 games, you know, or whatever. But I think personally that it's been reasonable, and there's a lot to be, you know, hopeful for in the future.
Thing is, though, when you're anti a manager of anyone, ultimately you're probably going to win out, and you're going to be right, because that manager at some point, very rarely does a manager move on in football unless they're exceptionally good, and you know, I just don't see it happening that often. So I was worried about Artell. The way I've seen us play, it's far more complicated than Hurst ever had us playing. The players he's brought in are far better and far more entertaining to watch. Like McEachran, it's just oozes quality. The little flicks and the little touches, and the way the players, you know, hold the ball now and run past them. I haven't seen that for years, and I think that's what's been frustrating a lot of Town fans for quite a while, is not having that opportunity to see players run beyond their man and create opportunities. And that's what we are doing, and that's something I am liking. We are fallible at the back, and we've got some weaknesses. I don't think we're the finished article. Mike was right in saying it's evolution, not revolution. We've had some injuries, but we've had that conversation where, unfortunately, our sort of level in the food chain, we are either going, if you're going to look for players of that quality, you're looking for them that have either got a questionable background, or there are question marks over their fitness or their you know, their ability to do it anymore, because they may be older than them or younger than what you would expect. So we have to take that as the norm, give them a bit of a chance. And if Blundell Park can become a fortress to a point, it'd be nice to see the fans paying it back with a little bit of atmosphere. I thought Blundell Park was a little bit better yesterday, But it would be nice for it to be an enjoyable place to go and watch football again, and that starts with the guys on the pitch, and I think we're getting there. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, McEachran is. I'm just enjoying him play. I'm just enjoying watching him play. I really am, and that's quite nice. There was a really interesting point up at the top where, who was it? I apologise. Tim Hubbard said, "Did anyone else notice Danny Rose not jumping up to head the ball? Is it injury related or preventative measure?" I didn't notice it. I don't know if anybody else did.
I
noticed him jumping.
I noticed it a couple of times, but the couple of times I noticed it, it looked like he knew he wasn't going to win the ball and was banking on him, the other player missing it, because he was up against some really tall lads. Now he's got an incredible leap, but I think asking him to compete against some of those lads in that team yesterday is a bit much. So maybe he's just trying to win the ball another way. But it'll be something I'll definitely be watching on Saturday now and seeing if he's jumping.
Yeah, I'm going on Saturday.
Carlisle, you keep talking about this. It's
Little
a big old
overnighter.
effort from you.
Little overnighter. No, it's not a big effort. I'm getting a lift, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like Carlisle.
Well, I've never been, and I'm not going this year or anytime soon. It's a long old way. Do they do flights to Carlisle from the southeast? Southampton to Carlisle or something, or Prestwick Airport?
You probably fly to Glasgow and get there quicker.
Well, I'm in Grimsby, and I'm actually gutted that we've got an away game. I have to be up in Grimsby for something.
Oh, Mike missing out on football again. It's close to Carlisle, though. You could have been going to Carlisle instead. It's only a few hours. Go to the Lake District for a day, the day before.
No? I'm only up and down for 2 days, mate. So.
Okay, fine. Joshua Parris says McEachran makes it look effortless at times, calm and comfortable on the ball. Look for the forward pass and has a quality to dictate play at times. Richard Sutcliffe says, "I think Artell is very good, passionate, non-stop, constantly pushing, wants high press and skills that come with it, but just don't have enough of it just yet. Never stops, always encourages." And David Smithson says, "We've got an exciting forward line, giving them another half season to get to know each other inside and out, and who knows what they can do." I don't know about you, but this league is seeming to be a bit of a there isn't any standout performers at the moment. It'll be interesting to see when we play Donny exactly what they've got for them, because they're starting to perform pretty well. I saw Harry Clifton got sent off this weekend. So, you never know. We're now 14th.
It does look incredibly. It does look a lot weaker than it did last year, didn't it? I think there's not enough. There's still a lot of money knocking around, but there's not as much. There's no 2 or 3 teams like your Wrexham and Stockports and things that there's where the money is. So it's a little bit more open. I think as the season goes on, teams will start to develop and start to improve. Teams have had bad starts, etc., etc. I think Donny are probably a team that's going to be up there, just going off their end of season form last year. But in terms of Artell and our team, I think you're right what you were saying a minute ago, just to go back slightly. This team, if it can stay together and play together, will get better. It's a lot easier to quickly improve a negative. So you saw last season, we very quickly shut up shop and got results playing a negative brand. It's a lot more difficult to progress and to instill the way of football we're trying to play. So hopefully, as time goes on, it gets better and better. So we may be one of those teams that when it starts coming into December and you're looking around at who's picking up form and who's picking up points, it might be Grimsby Town that have started putting a few wins together after being able to progress. So let's see. But I don't think it's a division as full of money as it was last year.
I thought Notts County looked pretty, in terms of you say no standouts. I think they stood out to me, but they've got some players who are probably on more than our squad in Crowley and Jody Jones. Going back to Harry Clifton, mate, he wasn't just sent off. He was sent off for 2 yellows in the first 10 minutes. Have you ever seen that before?
Agent Clifton.
Ben Fox.
And did he do that? Was somebody else?
Oh no, it was upgraded to a straight red, wasn't it, against Palace? Right. Anything before we move on?
I did like Artell on the touchline. I was watching that very closely with Woodman, and he was There was an awful lot going on the touchline.
Yeah,
And
there
I
was a
felt
bit in
very
need
sorry
of-
for that fourth official.
I saw that as well because I'm right behind it, Mike. It was quite entertaining watching them go at it because you can tell Woodman loves that kind of sense of pantomime and being the villain and kind of everybody giving him the bird and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got Dave, who's a very kind of passionate individual who kicks every ball, and is always, I've noticed, complaining to the fourth official, even about misplaced throw, and he went on about it about 3 or 4 minutes yesterday, the same issue. And so as a result, the kind of conflict was necessary, and it also sounded like at the end of it they weren't the best of friends, given how Artell spoke about it. But I'm not going to go for a drink with him after the game.
Well, Mash, who was on our podcast for the preview, well worth going back and listening to if you want to. He seems to have connections with Bromley and does quite a little bit of their media work. And he said to us after listening to our podcast, saying, "From Andy Woodman, you don't got to send me podcast. I love it. Text those guys and say love the podcast and thank you for my fuel." I was slightly worried that it might come a cropper. So yeah, it was nice that we didn't have to worry about that too much. Anything before we move on? The women's team unfortunately lost in the FA Cup this today 3-0. I think it was against Ossett United, which is a shame. The women's team haven't started, with a bang. But please do get down there and support them. And we'll be trying our best to give them more of a voice between now and the end of the season. All the other teams locally, Cleethorpes won in the FA Trophy 5-4 on penalties, and Grimsby Borough beat their opposition as well. I said that because I have no idea who they played. I've completely forgotten. Anything else from anyone else on the pod before we move on to?
Just to tell Ben, it wasn't me, Ben.
Okay. What do you say, Bruce?
What we're moving on to?
I was going to do a game because nobody else does it.
Oh, okay. Okay, right. Well, don't forget there's the Joe Waters evening coming up that Dave Roberts has organised on the 4th of October. Joe doesn't get back that often now. And I'm just trying to look online to see who's selling
playing
tickets.
in midfield?
I can't. That would probably put some bums on seats, wouldn't it? I think when Matt Tees came back, it put 3,000 on the gate in
It's a home loan playing
in the early 70s.
Joe would still do a shift for us now.
I think he would. I'm just trying to see whether the trust are doing tickets for this or whether it's the club. I'll come back to you on that one. You carry on for a minute.
Thank you, mate. Right. Okay. So obviously 125 years at Blundell Park. Not much we can talk about. We all got our bits that we love and a dislike, I guess. But in 1999, we celebrated 100 years. We played Swindon, and anyone who went got a lovely certificate and a little medal or coin that you could throw at the opposition if they were annoying you and fell down injured in front of you. I need you all to name that team. We're going to go back to the old and wonderful game. Sam, this is going to be great. Bruce is gone. So let's see if we can get some game show
chance.
Here.
What year was
I've
this?
got 19.
Right. Game. Let's see if we can get some music on as well. The way the audio production's going today, it's going to be terrible. Right, 1899, Grimsby Town played Swindon in the old Football League Division 1. They won 1-0, if anybody would like to know. I will start with Sam.
So I'm going to name a player, Paul Groves.
Paul Groves scored the penalty. There we go. One for you. Mike?
Aidan Davidson.
Oh, no. Mike is out already.
Oh, is that? Oh, just straight out.
He's out. He's gone. Bruce is showing his coin.
There's your coin.
There's
and I'll
your
go with coin.
Danny Coyne, the
no,
correct
actually,
goalkeeper.
Yep. Oh, okay. I will.
You've already done it. Coyne. Do you want me to go?
No.
No.
Go on, Sam. It's you and Bruce head to head. This could be fun.
No, it's how many strikes? You're not out first go, surely.
No, you're out.
No second chance on DN35,
There's
mate.
only three of us. There's three of you today.
Okay, I'm going to go with John McDermott.
See what? No, not Van Hooydonk. McDermott is correct, Sam. Well done.
I'm going
Bruce.
for low-hanging fruit here. This is a...
Mark Lever.
I don't think Matt Lever did.
Unbelievable.
How do you know that?
Sam, congratulations. You have won the game by naming Paul Groves and John McDermott. And if that is not a lesson in how poor this podcast is, I don't know what is. Bruce, have you got anything to say about yourself?
I want to know how Mike says I don't think he did. How does Mike know that he didn't?
Well, because now I'm out, I went and looked.
So when you
I
say
went out on the first line. I went out on the first round.
Oh,
So
I
when
don't
you say,
think he
I don't
did.
think, you just knew.
You
Yeah.
knew he didn't. Thank you, Sam.
That is
What a
outright
load of
deception.
shit, what a load of
That's
shit.
outright deception from McMahon down there.
There it is, isn't it?
Well, I'll be honest, I
don't
hadn't
think-
actually looked at it, but I just couldn't see his name. Hang on.
Was it Peter Van Dyside and Richard Smith at the centre backs?
David Smitham with the absolute stat. 100th anniversary and 125th anniversary games both won 1-0 from the penalty spot. There you go. What were you
Apparently, we
going to
played 2-5-3 according to this.
I said, were Richard Smith and Peter Handyside the centre backs, or who was or did Livo play centre back? Who was
on
the
the
centre
team?
backs?
Danny Coyne, Richard Smith, John McDermott, Stacey Caldecott, Paul Groves, Kevin Donovan, Kingsley Black, David Smith, Lee Ashcroft, Jack Lester, and Steve Livingston. On the bench, Steve Crowston, Danny Butterfield, Tony Gallimore, the greatest player in the world, Alan Powton, and Bradley Allen.
Right, just do that team slowly for me. Right, so who was there was
there we
Richard
go.
Smith? Richard Smith was the only recognised centre back that you named, wasn't he?
Yeah, thank you, Bruce. We just got the team sheet in now, and it is Danny Coyne in goal with Richard
Yeah.
Smith,
Right, centre back, yeah.
John McDermott,
Right back, yeah.
Stacey Caldecott.
Midfield.
Paul-
Next guess.
Stacey Caldecott could have been.
I'd have stayed in another round.
Stacey Caldecott could have been playing at the back. He did that a couple of times.
No, I
That
think
was
Groves or Livo played at the back. I think Groves or Livo were at the back. I reckon. How many forwards do we have?
Paul Groves, Jack Lester, and Steve Livingston. Steve Livingston could have been played at the back.
Didn't you say Ashcroft played?
Ashcroft played.
I reckon
Livo
Lester
maybe
and
played at the
Ashcroft.
back.
I reckon Livo was at the back.
Yeah.
Didn't Groves finish his career as didn't he transition into a
No.
centre half like Roy Keane style later in his career?
I'll tell you. Hang on. I'll tell you who played at the back. Now
Sure
I'm
he
out.
did.
I'll tell you
Right.
with confidence, Sam.
Anybody wants to get back in my good books after that appalling round who can name the town player who played for Swindon that day, who later became a town player?
Can you give me a bit more of a clue? Like, when did they play for us?
I could tell you who it is.
Lee Peacock. He was at Swindon, wasn't he? Or was that too early?
I'll tell you
That's
who it
probably
is.
too early.
Go on, Mike.
Go on.
Tell us.
With confidence, Mike.
Yeah, but no. He can see the team sheet for Swindon. He's not allowed to go.
He's getting very aggy, isn't he?
No, but I think he's right. No, in this instance, he's right. If Mike's
You're-
going, I can tell you who it is, and he sat looking at the bloody team sheet.
No, I'm sorry, guys. Your attitude's getting a bit iffy now.
Right, he wasn't supposed to be on in the first place. It's time. Thanks for coming. Please.
Well, hang on. Did Ifianora play for us, Bruce?
If Yonyora did play for us, yes.
Why, when am I looking at his thing here, it says that he didn't?
I'll tell you
He
what, I'd have
didn't
been a
play
while
for us
getting
without-
that one, Alex.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah. What was that, Sam?
Right.
I'd have been a while getting that one, if that's who it was.
Yeah, it was. Andrew Niles, did you see the hot dog roll thrown at the Bromley right back? Waste of food. It's a disgrace, said Andrew Niles. Yeah, so there we go. That's it.
Right, Livo played centre back.
There we go. What a man.
Livo
What
played
a man.
centre. He started the season at centre back against Stockport.
He was amazing at centre back.
He says with confidence.
Mark Lever came back from injury, well, Mark Lever didn't play the first two games. I wonder if Livo, I don't know. And then it was Livo and Lever shared it for the first 8 games of the season.
That's pace of the back, that, innit?
And then Groves went to the back.
I had to go.
All right, and then Mark Lever carried on for the rest of the season. Oh, we were all over the shop though. Richard Smith got injured, which he did a lot. Unfortunately, he was a classy player, Smith, wasn't he? But again, he probably wouldn't have been with us if he hadn't got injured. And you can see Ian Knight on that same one, but that's before you guys' time. He was another one that was class, but injury prone.
When did Grosey stop playing? Because I know he became the player, but when did his kind of career as a player effectively end? Because I know he became the player manager. What was it? Two and a bit years later after we sacked Lenny.
I think his second season. I am looking now for anybody that's listening. So I'm not trying to profess. He played 43 games in 2001-2. That was the season where we stayed up when we beat Gazza's Burnley and then Millwall at the end of the season.
That was the Great Escape, wasn't it?
That was when he took over. He took over from Lenny Lawrence, didn't he?
I think my first game as a Town fan was either the first or one of the first games he'd taken over, and Peter Crouch was playing. Young Peter Crouch was playing for the opposition.
I think we beat Portsmouth 3-1 in his first game.
That's my first Town game.
Yeah. Peter Crouch was playing for Portsmouth, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That season, Sam. These are the results from February. From the end of February, beat Stockport 3-1.
Even I can name most of these because I've heard about it so many times. It's the Great Escape.
We beat Stockport.
This is a different season, though.
Yeah, we beat Stockport 3-1. We beat Palace 5-2. Lost at Gillingham. Drew with Walsall 2-2. Won at Wolves in front of 26,000. 1-0 Andy Todd on loan.
And Kevin Muscat got sent off, didn't he, for Wolves that afternoon?
I'm not sure. Beat Wimbledon 6-2. 2 hat-tricks.
Magic.
And by then we just about...
First hat-trick by 2 different Town players since 1966.
And then we lost 4-0 at Birmingham, which we won't talk about. Drew with Wednesday 0-0. Sounds all-seater, which is...
That was... we had a minute silence. We had a minute silence for the Queen Mum. She'd died.
And then we went to Norwich, which was one of my favourite away games, and drew 1-1 Terry Cook. Beat Burnley 3-1, and we were already safe by the time we went to Millwall, and a young Danny Butterfield, fairly young Danny Butterfield scored anyway. He wasn't young by then, he was playing a bit, I think.
Oh, that Burnley game with your Conoco hat on, Bruce, things never felt so good. New stadium, running rampant in the league. We'd found a team. Mickey Boulding was ripping people up. We were going to the Premiership, my mate. Paul Gross played for school. Paul Gross played for school. I didn't know that.
If it weren't for those pesky newts at Greatcoats, we'd have had the new stadium. It is. I've just got 2 caps.
I'll be honest. Andrew de Freitas, who was the main proponent of against that stadium, sadly passed away a few months ago. I would love to have seen his burial plot be halted because they found some green crest on it. Because he did not want that stadium being built. Looking after the people of Greatcoat and their view of the road in the world.
We wouldn't want. I wouldn't want us to be out there.
No, even I was when it was stopped in that 2009 or 10. I was delighted when it didn't go out there. Wasn't there some issue with the railway line as well? That the railway line would have needed upgrading that would cost them. Or have I misremembered that? There was some other reason.
Knowing us, we'd just not realise there's a railway line there.
Go through the middle of the stand.
Lads, anybody got to do anything about this railway line? It's a bit of an issue. Oh, I'll be right.
Anyway,
it's quite a long way, but it would have been a good stop. You know, they could have built a stop. But anyway, we didn't want to be out there.
There is a stop. It's called Greatcoat Station. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded it.
I'd have hated it.
Greatcoat Station.
Okay, can I?
Hated it.
Yeah, I know, Sam. You've said that. So the only thing I would say is Blundell Park is not the same as it was back in that time when you had the Leaking Boot, the Imp, Blundell Park Hotel. Is the Rutland Arms still open, Bruce? It doesn't look like it when I drive past it.
Yes.
They're not there anymore. You've got Blundell Park Hotel, so I don't think the experience now would have been too much different. But it never happened, so we're arguing a moot point.
Just a question, Alex. Why wouldn't you have minded it there? Genuinely.
15,000 capacity stadium. I think we'd have had a lot better than what we do now. And I don't really think I'm not as this is disrespectful, but I'm not as enamored with Blundell Park as many. I see problems. I don't see a place that I love, and I don't think I've had many great moments at Blundell Park, to be perfectly honest. I haven't seen the team win the league. I haven't seen many, apart from Spurs and West Ham, and that's going back. I can't even remember West Ham. I haven't seen that many massive cup wins there. They've all been away from home, really. So I'm not as enamoured with Blundell Park as others are.
Do you think this is because you've been away for so long, mate?
No, didn't change from when I was there.
Yeah.
This is a long-standing thing you've had for ages, then. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't. I see when I see Blundell Park, I see what's what's holding us back, not what's lovely. If that makes sense. Maybe I just don't like the club.
I'd like to. Yeah, well, next week you'll be hanging out the back of the Scunny Bunny on a different podcast, won't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But sorry.
Yeah, go on. No, go on.
I'd like to be given a few million to spend at Blundell Park.
And do you know what? If
I would close the corners in again.
Yeah,
two corners that are easily closed. I would have seating above the fan zone, so we'd have a raised corner. You know, that sort of went round, so you could sort of carry the seating round, so it was above, so you still had the space for the fan zone, but you had like a raised corner. I think
like what they have at Luton.
Yeah. It's what to the right of the away fans. Both their corners. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've said this before, haven't we? But I think that if you had a few £1 million in your pocket to spend, the first thing you do is probably buy those houses behind the main stand, knock that down, and make a big fuck off two-tier thing there. You know, and that's where you've got all the club operation and all the media rooms and stuff. If you had the space to do that, I think that's what you do.
The only problem that's it only needs one person to be difficult and refuse to sell the house, and you can't do it.
Oh, we've got ways of sorting it out, mate. Don't worry.
We've got people that could resolve that sort of issue.
Yeah, we know people.
Have we?
Yeah.
Please, no.
Yeah.
Do you want a picture of Dave Boylan? No. But the problem is there's something like 13 houses behind there, isn't there? I was sad enough to count, but I don't know what you do. Blundell Park is just really, really, really it's really tight. And Tacklebury, I agree. That would be my solution. But there are 13 houses behind the main stand. So if you bought all of them at 150 grand, you're looking at what, Sam? You're the property expert here.
Well, first is
why is he a property expert?
Because he's touring.
I actually work on property.
That's 1.85 million, isn't it? So you've got to pay 1.85 million at what's that? I don't know, 1.52 times the book price. You won't get compulsory purchase orders. So you're already looking at well over 2 million quid, I think, for just to kind of acquire the land. And that's before you've even put a spade in the ground to build it. So it's extraordinarily expensive job. I mean, today we're not even talking about it in feasible terms here. We're talking about what we do with given free reign, aren't we? So,
you see how quickly that number went up? It kept adding things on. It's no wonder HS2 didn't work, is it?
Yeah. Can't we just build over them? Can't we just build over them, Sam?
Fuck your light.
Just build a stand on top of it.
Just build a stand on
like
the roof.
Luton.
They could be like, they could be part of the stadium. They could be like the foundations, those houses, and we'll just build a massive stand over them.
Well,
you
laugh, but over Grid's new ground, there's a motorway goes under it. So you might be onto something there, Bruce. Rather than the motorway going onto it, you've got people's houses and people's gardens there.
I don't know what's happened, Barbara. My tomatoes in the greenhouse, they're just not growing.
All those fag packets being thrown over the side. No, I just, it's an interesting one. Maybe because Blundell Park doesn't have that much of an atmosphere. I don't know. I don't know, but
that is, I think, because of the open corners. All the best grounds like Bramall Lane or wherever have got in terms of famous atmosphere, Anfield. Yeah, Anfield. They're all closed in.
Yeah,
and that we don't have that.
Yeah, I never saw a good atmosphere at Huddersfield at the McAlpine, where it's 4 separate stands.
Yeah. What about Millwall, Bruce? I'd imagine Millwall doesn't actually have that much of an atmosphere.
I can't remember anything at Millwall. I was just concentrating too much.
Trying to survive.
I got free tickets at Millwall.
Did you?
One of the town directors was outside the ground before the game. There you go, lads. You got a couple of tickets? Yes, thank you, please, sir.
Did you go in? Amazing.
We lost 2-0.
I would love to see Blunder Park being built, and I think as time has gone on, Sam, you're probably right. I have become better with it, but at the time in early 2000, that's what everybody was doing. You think at the time, you had the Riverside Stadium being built, didn't you, Bruce? And Sunderland and Huddersfield was being built. Yeah,
New Den.
Yeah, New Den was a little bit before actually. I was like Leicester Cities as well. So at the time, it sounds stupid nowadays. We were competing with those guys.
Yeah.
So I think, well, that's what we kind of need to do. And they were talking about, didn't they, Bruce? That it can be expanded to 20,000 so it can get into the Premier League and all that sort of stuff.
We've missed the
boat. I went to the New Den. I think I drove to the New Den in 1994. So it's been open, like you say, it's been open a long time.
But Ben's right. At least there's a good view of ships if the game gets shit. So, I know I'm an outlier, but I think Blunder Park can be amazing. And the longer time goes on and the less of them there are, of those sort of stadiums, I think we do have a duty to stay. But at the same time, like if other fans like these grounds that are old and nestled between terrace stadiums, they should fucking pay for them. Blundell Park's a black hole for us. How much money do we put into it every year to keep it from falling to pieces?
Well, wasn't it like 750 or 350 grand or something? I can't remember. It was
a lot of money.
Several hundreds of thousands of pounds they had to spend on during the close season.
And it sounds like every one of us has the same sort of thing. And I wonder if people are listening. Do you play around in your head with what you would do to Blundell Park if you had that money and what you would do? And I was trying to look, because you do look at Blundell Park. Go, there's that big old cinder track around the pitch, and then there's the walkway between the seats and the advertising boards. You think there's a good 6-7 meters if you put that all together from one side of the pitch to the other that we can take back. And I looked, and I did the stupid crap on looking on Google Earth. And I looked at Chesterfield, not their main stand, but the other side stand. If we could fit that in, but you're only looking at an extra couple of, 1,500 seats or something stupid like that. It's not an exact science, I understand, but it was just, I don't know what you do with it. I think the one you'd knock down is the Findus, because that's the one that restricts other bits being put to the sides.
Oh, we could debate still. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah. I thought Bruce was going to say something.
We can debate that's how cows come home, but from what the owners have said,
that's the whole point of the podcast.
Yeah, from what the owners have said, it's just not a.
And I understand it, because the area around Primo, the area, at the moment construction is through the roof. It's ridiculous. So, if you're looking at other stadiums, you go, look. Well, what was the rugby stadium? I like St. Helens, I think, looks quite nice or something. That cost 20 million to build, but that was a price 10 years ago. It's going to be twice the price now to build something identical. And so, I don't know what you do apart from fill in the corner, get rid of the police box, get rid of the police, stick it in the corner. Maybe if we
put them in the cage.
Yeah, maybe if we could defund the... I don't understand why the cage hasn't had seats been added to it yet. Just put some seats in it. Why is it not... There's no other ground in the world that has a cage that has to divide fans of our own fan base. Just put seats in it. And then if we need to extend it, put a mat down the middle of it like every other football ground does. I don't know. But it's getting full, isn't it, Bruce?
Ish.
We used to dream of the days of having 6,000 regularly. It's good, isn't it? Look at all your videos.
We do need to work on the atmosphere, but we've talked about that till the cows to start at 9:20 on a Sunday.
I think we should just give everyone LSD.
You're right, though. When you look at those great escape ones, we beat Sheffield United 1-0 or whatever it was in that season. The attendance was 3,681 or something.
Football in itself has gone through a revolution, not just town.
That we've missed.
Yeah. Anyway, that was our anniversary pod on Blundell Park. Alex doesn't like it.
Yeah. Here's to the next 125 years.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to build a new stadium, Bruce. We're going to put it on a barge and just move it up and down, so residents will complain at Greatcoats for a week, and by then we've moved it on and we've parked it outside the leisure centre, and they get stuck on the salt marshes.
We can put it on top of Mike's caravan.
Yeah, what about your caravan, Mike? We can put it near there, can't we?
Yeah, of course, you can, mate.
What? How are bookings going for your caravan?
Well,
You can't rent it out yet. He's not got it yet.
I haven't got it yet, mate. So,
should we steal Mike's caravan before he's bought it?
Oh, you know what's going to happen next week? Next Sunday. Are you not going to be on next Sunday then, Mike? Will you be on your way home?
No, I'll probably be back in London by then, mate.
Will you? I hope he's not upset. Can you imagine if he gets there and it's like sort of not what the picture looked like and he's signed for it and everything?
Can we?
Yeah, no,
all I'm
thinking
of is Snatch when the wheels come off the bottom and stuff. You bite as you see it.
Haven't got wheels.
Well, Mike, you're already well behind. That's not what a caravan's like, mate. Come on. And then, are we going to do a podcast from the caravan, Mike?
Sorry? Yeah, can we?
Yeah. Let's do a pod at the caravan.
I won't be there, but
no, we're going to do it right. And
you better be there. I would be there if I were you.
We're going to do it next game, first game of next season, middle of prime summer. So you'll be losing some revenue. We'll do it from there on the weekend. We'll all wake up there, have a fried breakfast that you'll make for us, and then we'll do a podcast from there in the evening. Sounds good, doesn't it?
If I was you, Mike, I'd be there because Sam's not much beyond studio. It's up the walls and everything.
Yeah, that's a point. I'll make sure I'm there, fellas.
Yeah, brilliant. Good. We'll book it in. Guys, pleasure to talk to you all. Thank you so much for joining us. It really is appreciated. I can't believe there are 80 of you still watching. Enjoy it. We will see you all next week. 3 points off Andy Woodman. Who doesn't like that? Anything else from anyone before I wrap it up and we go?
No, I didn't have a chance to laugh at Andy Woodman, so
thank you. Bye-bye.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be on a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy. Hey, they got penalty here. There'll be fish flying about there. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! A really